Hello viewers, welcome to your program Developments, where we celebrate achievers, unveil the core potential of our dear nation, and also celebrate those who have contributed immensely to the growth of our country. Today we'll be talking politics and we'll be chatting with barrister Hannatu Musawa. She's the deputy spokesperson of APC Presidential Campaign Council. Sit back, relax. I'll be right back.
I'm absolutely overjoyed with the victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This was a journey that he has embarked on for a very long time, and I was very privileged to be one of the people that was able to join him on this journey. And for the last many months since we've been on this journey to see him get elected together with Alhaji Kashim Shettima, you know, it has been a very deep learning experience, and it has been one that has enriched me as a person, and I think it will make Nigeria will be the better for it, because I think the vision and the kind of innovation that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu together with Kashim Shettima are going to bring to Nigeria is very much needed, and I think they will be able to bring the kind of progress and the resurgence that we really need in Nigeria, and I'm really excited to see the next phase of their journey, and I hope that I play a part in that. Now, obviously, no election is perfect. There's bound to be irregularities. I personally think that this particular election was relatively free and fair, given that the trajectory of the Nigerian map, the political map, has significantly changed. And that can only happen when people or the powers that be within any conclave don't have the ability to manipulate elections in a certain way. So I think it was relatively fair and fair. And of course, we had one or two people that did point out that there was some irregularities, but at the same time, you find that there are many of the leading powers actually had called Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and congratulated him on his victory. And for them to call him and congratulate him on his victory means that they recognize the victory. And you know, they recognize that this was a process that came out with a credible process that came out with a valid winner, which is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So yes, even though one or two observers did point out there were irregularities, but I don't think the irregularities go to the substance of the election itself in a way that it will substantially change the outcome of the elections. And since you have most of the leading powers that have actually congratulated Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Nigeria on the conduct of the elections, that means they generally accept the outcome of the elections. Glad that that's the option that they've opted to take, rather than encourage their supporters to behave in an untoward manner and go out on the street. Obviously, if they feel that in some way they've been disenfranchised, then we encourage them to go to court. We are going to court ourselves, because we find that in certain parts of the country, specifically in the southeastern part of the country, there are very many irregularities, and there was a lot of violence that took place in a way that disenfranchised many of our supporters. So not only are they going to court, we are also taking the matter to court. And even in Lagos, there are many places where we are told that our voters, our supporters, were disenfranchised and there was a lot of violence. So we're going to challenge that in court, and at the same time, if the opposition parties take us to court, we'll be ready to meet them in court. And you know, they have to prove their case, and we have our case to prove, and we have their case to disprove, and we're quite confident. We've already put up our legal team and we started working already. I'm going to be part of that legal team. So we're looking forward to meeting anyone in court and getting the outcome which will affirm that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima were returned as President-elect and Vice President-elect of Nigeria. When I speak about Obasanjo in this instance, I always preface it with saying, with all due respect and with utmost appreciation for the service that he's given to Nigeria, because he has given his life of service to Nigeria. However, I think his actions in the aftermath of these elections were absolutely irresponsible. I think as a responsible leader, what he should have done was to encourage anyone that felt disenfranchised to follow the proper channel and take it to a tribunal. But for him to call for the cancellation of the collation process at the time it was taking place and saying that the election was not credible in the way he did, I felt it sort of mirrored the actions of Donald Trump in the aftermath of his defeat in the American elections. And that led to what? That led to an American insurrection. And I think that was the fear. And I think a man like Obasanjo should understand the kind of responsibility that he has and the power that words from a leader such as his has. So for him to have interjected in the way he did, I felt was absolutely irresponsible. And I think, you know, he needs to call himself to order in this instance and try to continue to unite Nigeria, which is what he's always done, as opposed to trying to disunite it. I appeal to INEC to look at all the areas that they had shortfalls in the last elections and try to close that up, because like I said, there are bound to be areas where people felt disenfranchised. There were many irregularities, even in my state, there were many irregularities. So I hope that INEC will be able to look into that and be able to sort of close that gap. And I really hope that they allow Nigerians, give them an even platform for us to go and cast our votes and make a decision of who's going to lead us in our respective communities. So I wish INEC luck. Best wishes to the chairman. I think he's done a very good job. I think he was very, very courageous in the face of the kind of disruption that they brought to him during that collation process. I think he stood his ground, he did the right thing, he followed the rules and regulations, he followed the law, and I expect this is what he's going to do in the next election in a week's time. I want to tell Nigerians, no matter what side of the divide you are on, is to always put Nigeria first. That is extremely important. Now, before I go on, I want to say that I understand the way people who maybe didn't support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu may feel disappointed. I've been on that side as well. I was supporting President Muhammadu Buhari before in 2003, 2007, 2011. And I was very invested in that movement and in his candidacy. And we went for election 3 times and we lost, and I was absolutely devastated. So when I see people now expressing dismay on the other side, I remember what I felt. So I understand completely. But at the same time, even back then, I always tried to put Nigeria first, and no matter what, I felt that the only way to address any of my grievances or our grievances was to take it to the proper channel. As a lawyer, I have complete confidence in our courts, in the judiciary. I have complete confidence in that. So I would want to urge everyone to put any emotion aside, and despite everything you feel, let's put Nigeria first. At the end of the day, it's an election and one person is going to come out victorious. And as much as one may feel they were disenfranchised, even us as a ruling party or as the people who were declared as the winners, feel disenfranchised as well, because we feel we were disenfranchised in some parts of the southeast and in Lagos and in some parts of the north central. But at the same time, we're taking our grievances to the right channel, which is to take it to the tribunal. And at the end of the day, we are all Nigerians. So no matter what, if the courts, the tribunals rule that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was returned properly by INEC, then I would want to urge Nigerians to put our hands together to support him, because supporting him would be supporting Nigeria. And if we take our grievance to the court, and the court deems that we were not rightfully returned as the victors in this election, then as a party and as a campaign, we'll be willing to do exactly what the court says, because at the end of the day, again, Nigeria has to always come first.
Welcome back. Like we heard from our guest today, Nigeria belongs to every one of us. And in everything we're doing, let's put Nigerian first, irrespective of our grievances from different quarters. Let's put hands together and make this country first. Put Nigeria first in all you're doing. Till I come over again, I remain your host, Joseph Uzwa Kundobolejo. Bye for now.